Hi everyone, this is 7/10 minutes with Archilite C. And I have with me Jen Tan in the house. Hello Jen.
Hi Vincent, thanks so much for having me on.
No problem. Jen Tan is from SOJAO. Is co-founder of SOJAO. I'm not sure whether I've pronounced it in the correct manner, so I hope that you can do it for me.
Actually, it's perfect.
Really?
Yeah,
okay,
perfect.
then
SOJAO is right.
Awesome. Jen, please share with me the brand story as well as what SOJAO does.
So SOJAO in Hindi actually means go to sleep, right? And we started the brand with the vision that everyone from our customers to our cotton farmers and workers would have a good night's sleep as well. So that was our ethos. And actually, SOJAO, in Mandarin, it sounds like 睡觉, which is perfect.
That's coincidental.
Yeah, exactly, which is perfect.
Now that you mention it.
Exactly, yeah. And that's something that we always tell people to help them remember the name SOJAO.
Okay.
So that it sticks. So we actually started this, the idea for SOJAO was actually started in 2016 or 2017. Credit goes to my co-founder, Pris, who at that time was making over her room, and she wanted to buy bed sheets for the first time in her life.
Mm-hmm.
As a young adult, we all have to go through
Got
that.
it. Yeah, our moms doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they will come to a period where some of the stuff that they buy all along, and we'll start to have comments regarding it. And
yeah,
then
like,
okay,
why you buy me like?
Absolutely.
Why you buy me cartoon bed sheets for like?
That's right. So what happened? So, I've been buying this for you all along.
Exactly. Yeah. We sooner or later, we have to adult. So she was actually looking for a first set of bed sheets, right? And at that time, what you would do normally is you would go to a department store. Mm-hmm. That's the number one place you would go to buy your bed sheets. Mm-hmm. So she went to the department stores and she tried to find a good quality one, to invest in, at the price that she could afford as a young adult at that time. So she couldn't really find one. The nice ones were really expensive. Okay. And the cheap ones, they were really low quality. Mm-hmm. So she was a bit defeated and perplexed that she couldn't find one that she really liked. Wow. And she did research into why are sheets expensive, right? Why are good quality sheets expensive? I mean, everybody needs sheets to sleep on, isn't that right?
That's true.
So she discovered that there were a lot of marketing gimmicks that the sheets industry used. It's not a very transparent. There's a lack of transparency in the sheets industry. We normally use terms and marketing gimmicks such as 1,000 thread count sheets are good for you, and terms like Egyptian cotton. I'm sure you've heard of those terms before. Mm-hmm. But in reality, up to 80% of Egyptian cotton sheets are actually fake or labeled incorrectly. So really? There's a huge
up to 80%.
Yes, they actually did DNA testing on some of the Egyptian cotton, and that's what they found.
Are you able to share later on? Because I've seen like T-shirts, and then they were saying they were made in Egyptian cotton. Of course, it sounds good, but maybe if this is like distracting you from what.
No worries. The thing is, I read that, and I'm not an expert on Egyptian cotton because SOJAO sheets are made of organic Indian cotton. Mm-hmm. But I read that for Egyptian cotton, in order for it to be genuine, it actually has a certificate from the Egyptian Cotton Association.
Got it.
Yeah. Right. So this lack of transparency in the industry, and she realized that sheets are expensive because there's a lot of added cost to it, right? So the cost of goods, which are how much the sheets actually cost. Mm-hmm. And then you add on like licensing fees, distribution fees, and then of course if you sell in retail level, then of course you have to add the cost of the rent. So that easily adds to 30% of the cost of a sheet, right? Yeah. So that's why sheets are so expensive. And so she saw a gap in the market that, hey, why not sell sheets online at a fair price, like for someone like me that can afford it. And she wrote me in and we started brainstorming on what this new brand could
You've
look
been
like.
friends all along. You've been friends all along.
Yeah, exactly. Best friends, actually.
Okay.
One of the reasons why she wrote me in was because we complement each other really well in terms of skill set. So
what's her strength and what's your strength?
So I come from a creative background. So I have the creative and technical skills needed to, at the time, like design the logo, design the packaging and all that sort of stuff. And she has the, what I would call the entrepreneurial spirit, she's got a lot of grit and perseverance. And she always wanted to start her own business. And she has a marketing background as well. So in the sense, like business and creative coming together, I think it was pretty good. Yeah,
perfect.
Pretty good fit for us. So fast forward to 2 years. I think we researched for about 1 or 2 years actually, because without any background in business,
that was I was going to ask. Not just background.
Yeah, of any understanding of technical aspects of how are bed sheets even made? Where are they made from?
Interesting.
What are they made of?
Can you share with us then how's this journey of understanding bed sheets in detail looks like?
Yeah, it was a very long journey. So it took us about 1 to 2 years, on and off. We were both still working full time. So this was something that we would research on the side, of course. And when you have an idea, to turn it into a business, it's a huge journey. It's a huge step, You could get discouraged. You could be, doubt could actually kill your dreams. I mean, it took so much research, firstly, to understand what are bed sheets made of and what is the best material for bed sheets. And along in our research, we found that it was cotton. Right? And not only normal, any old cotton, there's so many varieties of cotton. And we found that it was long staple, single ply yarn that would make the best bed sheets. So from there, we narrowed it down to cotton. But at the same time, we also discovered that cotton is an extremely dirty crop. It's one of the dirtiest crop in the world. And it has that label because it uses a lot of pesticides and insecticides.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you what do you mean by dirty, because grass are dirty. Is that what you mean? Okay, no.
Yeah, so no, it's actually in terms of
human intervention.
Human intervention, exactly. So in order to grow cotton, it uses a lot of land, it uses a lot of water, it needs a lot of irrigation, and above all, it uses a lot of pesticides and insecticides. Because we don't eat cotton, right? But a lot of insects do. So people don't test cotton for pesticides levels the same way they test food that humans eat, like apples or oranges and so on and so forth, right? So in terms of that, the sustainability angle, which was very important to us, it kind of failed the test, conventional cotton, right? But we persevered and we reached out to a lot of potential partners and, received a lot of samples to feel the quality of the materials that they were able to have and that they were working with.
Are they local? Are the suppliers local when you first?
No, there's no bed sheets manufacturer in Singapore. Yeah, it can't work here. I think because of the cost of manufacturing and the expertise and
So
cotton farms, right?
So when you're asking for samples to be delivered to Singapore, they must be wondering, this is probably one of the first, one of the times that they deliver samples over.
Exactly. At that time, there was so little local brands that are selling bed sheets, and definitely zero that was selling online, right? So we were trying to do something different here. And I remember the day we received a sample for this organic cotton material that we're using for our bed sheets right now. And Chris was like, "This is it."
From India.
100%.
From India, right?
Yes, from India. Yeah. So we were 100% convinced that this is what we want our bed sheets to be made of. No turning back now. So she quit her job within a few weeks.
Oh, this is quite dramatic. Okay.
And we just started going at it a bit quicker, a bit more full steam, building up the website and everything. We were very lucky to have been educated on organic cotton. It was something that we never thought of before. And the organic cotton that we're using is actually certified as well. You know, anybody can
GOTS,
yes, the Global Organic Textile Standard. So really, anybody can call their product organic, right? There's no criteria to calling something organic or sustainable
all the time for all the products,
ethically made. And that's why we believe that in order for our brand to truly be true to its word in terms of our ethos of sustainability and, you know, being ethically made and paying our workers fair wages and making sure that they're working in a safe environment, we decided to work with only factories that are certified. And our whole supply chain from the cotton farmers to the factory is entirely GOT certified, which is one of the highest and most stringent certification bodies for organic cotton in the world. So in the aspect, we wanted, as a new brand, we wanted to give consumers a peace of mind, knowing that they could trust us, right? And the quality that we're actually producing, and that, hey, we are, you know, we're not afraid to show you transparency in our supply chain. This is where our cotton is from. This is how it's made. It's made from people being paid fair wages and working in a safe environment and everything.
How do you check, or how do you know, or how do you even find out, you know, at the very beginning, or like during your en route doing your research about because when we talk about entire supply chain, it's really a lot of processes and people who are involved and parties as well. Yeah, so how do you even start on that? Because it's definitely like as tough as it is like starting a business.
Absolutely. I mean, you can imagine to have a whole supply chain that's actually certified. Is
that even possible? I mean, now that you say, of course,
well, yes. Now we know it's possible. But at that time, I think we were very lucky because the partner factory that we had found had already, in the years prior to us meeting them, they already had certified their whole supply chain. So they were working with, you know,
started and working concurrently.
Yeah, they were their whole supply chain was already. They were making sure that it was getting certified and everything up to them. And so, you know, we were lucky in that sense to have kind of stumbled upon it, and that's why we were 100% convinced that, you know, this is the direction that we should take.
That's great.
So I think from discovering the material to like Chris quitting her job and diving into it full time and everything, I think we finally launched in 2018, January.
January.
Yeah, January 2018. We're like, okay, let's live the website. Let's see how it goes. You know, we didn't know whether organic cotton would work in Singapore.
Why not?
Because you had never seen it sold before. There was no bed sheets that was made out of certified organic cotton, and certainly
not even the expensive ones.
Sorry?
Not even the expensive ones, as in the so-called branded ones that you find.
They were made out of other conventional cotton varieties, but definitely not our organic cotton. And so we were like, will people actually buy this? You know, I have to say, in the beginning, it took a long time to educate consumers on like the benefits of sleeping organic and what you're actually standing behind. You know, the product that you're actually buying into, and how does it, you know, what kind of change are you contributing to? I think it takes a lot of educating of consumers.
Which part do you think, I hate to interrupt, but
no worries.
To provide value even for myself, because I think people will be really interested, be curious to find out which part of because there are a number of benefits for getting you know, for applying a SOJAO badge on the bed. But what do you think is at least to you, you know, what's the main highlight, or a few highlights that you think those are what Singaporeans, or what even for yourself, what is it that people are looking out for that really strikes them, you know, that okay, I mean, the rest are great to have, but this is the one.
So there are so many benefits to organic cotton sheets, and I'll tell you a few. Right at the top of my head is that it's grown the cotton is grown organically. It's not finished with any chemical fabric finishes. Like, actually if you see anti-wrinkling sheets and you know, anti-wrinkling this and that, they're actually treated with some dangerous chemicals like formaldehyde, which I'm sure you've heard of before.
100%. Happens all the time.
So formaldehyde is actually used in anti-wrinkling sheets, and that's something that you don't really want to be sleeping on and breathing, you know. So firstly, that it's not finished with any chemical fabric finishes, which is good for your skin as well. It's really good for people with eczema because, you know, a lot of times there are I would say compounds in the dyes that are being used or the fabric finishes that really irritate your skin. It's good for people's skin. And then on another level, the material itself, other than being super soft and buttery smooth, is really durable. It's more durable than organic cotton, than conventional cotton, sorry, because it's been grown with the cotton has been grown without pesticides and insecticides. So there's less strain on the yarn, you know. The cotton itself is stronger, it's healthier. It produces better yarn, which in turn produces a more durable bed sheet. So our sheets are good for like up to 300 washes, that kind of thing.
Interesting.
So in a sense, it's a good investment, right? It's not sheets that are gonna be, you know, that are gonna peel and be destroyed in like a year or so. Definitely not. And another thing about organic cotton is that because it's grown without pesticides and insecticides, in a broader sense, it takes care of the bigger picture, right? Of taking care of our planet, of taking care of the soil and our farmers, and making sure that people are working in, you know, in a sustainable way, supporting their livelihoods, making sure that, you know, there's no chemical runoff from the soil into their waterways, so their community are better taken care of. And also the ethical aspect of our certification, right, was really important to us as well, the social and the environmental. So, you know, our factories they're supporting people who are being paid fair wages. You know, people who produce, who buy SOJAO are supporting this whole chain of livelihoods behind them. And that was, in a broader sense, what we had hoped to achieve by calling our brand SOJAO.
The fact that you had started off with understanding, I mean, with a particular need, I think there's something which is in common to many successful brands, because there is something that we're all looking out for, but we can't really seem to find it, at least in the places around you. But of course, maybe if it's like very far-fetched, that's or I mean very far away, then that's a different story. So it started off with that. And then I think there are two parts, there are two stages in your journey so far, you know, like pre-January 2018. You started off with trying to understand what a product, of what is it that you want to zoom in, or so on and so forth, you know. That really reminds me of perhaps like education in school, right? Because everything is, not everything, I mean, we're being taught like in a way spoon-fed, but of course in your case it's slightly different because you have the liberty, or you have your unrestrained in the direction which you can take, so that probably makes things more difficult. And there isn't like a schedule that you have to stick to, so you don't have to pass it like at the end of 2 years, not to mention 1 year. You can just go on and research, you know.
I mean, we could have gone on forever.
Absolutely.
We could have gone on forever until we found the perfect material. So thank God that we found it at the time that we did, you know, because we were still in a very relatively there was no competition in the space. We were the first ones to sell luxury bed sheets online, so we had that kind of head start. And I think it was good for us that we started from the ground up without understanding anything of what we were getting ourselves into, and we had to learn everything from scratch. Because that gave us we came into it with a non-biased view of anything, right? Our goal was to create the best bed sheets, right? And so how do we get from point A to point B? We went in there with a very non-biased view, and I think that we did really great, and we're really happy with our product, and a lot of people love it, and that's been the best part about this journey, is to create something and have so many people love it.
Now that you mentioned it, I think in my share of work, my business and design work and so on, the provision of anything that's got to do with a home or inside a house, you know, will be something that we'll be spending a lot of time on. So
yeah, especially during this time.
Of course, yeah, 100%. And then even before that, we were like proposing for at least for our clients, they have got their own understanding, and most of the time we'll not go so far as to recommend to them bed sheets, but there are projects whereby we are the design consultants for like showrooms and all that. Then that's where you know, then we have to procure and recommend and give specifications to some of these materials. But you're absolutely right. I mean, the fact that some of these things, they are like labeled there when you buy bed sheets, and then you know, in malls and so on. Those are the I mean, the criteria are there, but at the same time, it's not as in-depth as what you have talked about, and then there isn't really much of a difference other than the different patterns, colors, and so on, and different under and you know, packaged under different names. Other than that, there's really, you can't really tell what is the which one is better than the other, and if it's better, then in what way different. And of course, then people will be starting to look at just two things, isn't it? The maybe brand is one. If not, then the price, then the track count. Right?
Yes.
How does track count?
Wow.
Yeah. How does track count? Can you like give me your, because you absolutely will know more.
I mean,
give us a little bit of
so when we first started out, in order to promote our sheets, right? Yeah. So when we first started out, in order to promote our sheets, we would join physical pop-ups, you know, where you would have a pop-up stall for 1 or 2 days, and that was a great opportunity for us to meet people and get to talk to them, and you know, get them to try our sheets. And one of the common questions that we had was, of course, as you mentioned, thread count. You know, a lot of people, the first thing that they would ask after feeling it is, what is the thread count? Because like I said, marketing gimmicks, right?
Yeah, and that's the only thing in the market that you can actually look out for.
Yes, because the marketing in the marketing of sheets up to that point had been based on thread count, right? 1,000 thread count sheets are good for you. And what people weren't being educated on was that, yes, you can look at the thread count, that part is important, but at the same time, there are so many different kinds of cotton strands and yarns and measurements that are used to count thread count, that you can't just look at 1,000 thread count and go like, yep, that's the sheet, you know, that's going to be good quality. You have to also look at the quality of cotton that is produced, that is being used in the sheets. Now for us, what we had was, we had people feel the sheets, right? And they would ask, what's the thread count? And we would say, make a guess. And they would say, this feels really good, you know, 1,000 thread count. And we would go, no, it's only 300. And when they hear 300, they're like, what do you mean? Like 1,000 thread count and 300, that sounds really low. But the explanation is that, in layman terms, right, our cotton strand is 3 times longer than what other people are using, you know. So when you count 1,000 thread count, right, our cotton strands are longer, so the length of it is already longer than other cotton, and that's why we need less cotton strands, in very layman's terms, if you put it that way, right? So if you look at it that way, 300 thread count was what we found to be the perfect quality for the right breathability of our sheets, right?
I've not done enough research on that, but
yes,
the thread count, does it apply to the entire sheet, as in the entire area, or is it per square feet?
So thread count is basically square inch, right? How many threads are there in a square inch? And then the thing is that there are, like I said, different kinds of measurements, because not all cotton is equal, right? So in a sense, right, if we were to make 1,000 thread count sheets with our cotton, it would be really heavy
and hot,
really heavy, really hot, not suitable at all. So you can't just look at thread count that way. In Singapore, where the weather is so humid, right, you're not gonna want our cotton sheets at 1,000 thread count. It's just not gonna work.
Of course.
In fact, in any climate,
Right. Now that you have mentioned it, the fact, so thread count really describes the density of some
Yes,
of the fiber, right?
Exactly.
And of course, then the higher the number, the more dense. But then
Yes.
denser doesn't mean good, and doesn't mean more comfortable.
Exactly. Denser
probably
doesn't
means
mean
hotter.
better.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And it also very much depends on the yarn.
Yes.
On the quality of each of the yarn. Because if the yarn is like not so good, then you've got 1,000. So it just multiplies up.
So you could have 1,000 thread count sheets, but because they're short staple cotton, they will tend to poke out of the weave easily, and that's when you get pilling. You know, it's like braiding your hair. If you have short hair, the braid's not going to look so nice because there's a lot of hair strands sticking out. So for us, long staple cotton, right? If you think of it in terms of hair, when you braid it, it's going to be really nice and smooth.
Absolutely.
Really high quality.
I think we can't really blame the as in like the consumer. Of course we aren't. You aren't, and neither am I. Blaming the consumers for looking at numbers, because numbers is one of the things which is countable and something that we can see. And the rest of the benefits and the strength of of textiles or in particular bedsheets in general. Before you or even now, right? Generally at large. People are not educated enough to know about these things, and therefore the only thing we can look at are numbers.
Exactly what I was going to say. That you know, there's so many technical aspects to what makes a good bedsheet. Actually, that, you know, I think marketers prior to this, they would just, you know, just tell people it's 1,000 thread count. That's the easiest way to tell people. Just look at the thread count and you would know whether it's a good quality sheet. But we've had to change consumers' mindsets a bit. Educate them on, you know, you shouldn't just look at the thread count, you should also look at the quality of the material. It's like a good recipe, right? It's like a good recipe. If you start out with good quality ingredients, then you're going to get a good quality product. Absolutely. The response has been really good. I think more and more people are being educated on it. And I think right now we don't have to educate people as much about thread count anymore. We definitely get less questions about like what is a thread count. It still comes up, but I think a lot of people are getting more educated, better educated in that. Yeah.
Jen, I forgot to ask you whether you have got slides to show us.
Well, I don't have slides, but I can share our website.
Okay, all right. Shall we go to that?
Shall I try to share screen?
Sure.
And
yep, I can see it. All right.
So this is our website. This is our website that we built ourselves. We have a lot of great reviews, and I'm really proud of all these. This is just proof of the hard work that you know that we've been doing. It really pays off.
And all quite recent reviews.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is actually our latest color, or pattern rather. The only pattern of our sheets, pinch stripes. It's something that we launched about 3 months ago. Yeah. And all these is actually photos that we shot ourselves in our studio.
Wow.
This is another picture that we put a lot of hard work into launching our color forest, which is a really rich and saturated green. I thought it really reminded us of being in a forest and being amongst nature. So this was a theme that we went out and we rented some plants for our shoot, and we shot this ourselves in our studio. I mean, we're a really small team.
This is nice.
We really try to bootstrap everything. I'm really proud to say it's like 2 women-led businesses. We're still a small team.
Priscilla.
Yes, we're still a small team. We have a team of about 5, and we really try to do everything ourselves, right? We believe in growing the business as organically and sustainably as possible. Same like our ethos in our products. And you know, we're 100% profitable, and we work really hard. I mean,
and currently you are saying no. Currently, you are saying no to investors.
Yes, we are. I mean, we're 100% still owned by the both of us. So, in a sense, we're really happy to take the lead on which direction our business should go without investors at this moment. And I think it's really working out for us. Yeah. We also have. I want to show you something really interesting. Sure. One of my favorite features of the products that we sell is that you can actually mix and match your sheets. So if we sell in a bundle set, you could go by the colors. We currently have 6 colors and 1 pattern. And we have this mix and match set where, you know, you can actually play around with the colors. So you could actually get, first you select your size, and then our bundle set comes with duvet cover, fitted sheet, and a pair of pillowcases. So you could actually pick different colors for your different items, and we will just bundle them up for you. I mean, this is not something that you can find elsewhere, and in department stores as well, they're always sold as one big package.
That's right.
So
that's right.
This is something really
the
fun.
more flexibility.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're able to get everything that you need. You know, right?
Exactly. You're able to get whatever you want, really fast, really easily. You can mix and match and play around, and we really love. Every time we receive a mix and match request, we go like, that's an interesting combination. Maybe we should try and photograph it next time. You know, I mean, people really, we have so much fun with all these mix and matches.
Yeah. And if your clients are willing, they can share their creativity, at least of how they mix the sheets up.
Yeah, so we have a lot of features on our Instagram from other people. We recently launched cord fitted sheets as well. And the response has been great from mums, right? They're like first time mums telling us that, when I put on the sheets and my baby slept on it for the first time, he actually slept on it like through the night. And we know that,
that's the most wonderful thing.
Babies go through a phase where, yes, exactly. Like babies go through a phase where they're having sleep regression, they're not sleeping so well. So I'm so glad that our sheets are able to help,
very encouraging.
Mums regain a bit of their sanity.
That's very important.
Yeah. So we have a lot of pictures from our customers as well, who share, they just love sharing photos of their bedroom and mix and matches, and they especially love sharing their pets. And I think one of the great things about using Instagram is the ability to connect to our consumers, right? In this digital world, as an online shop, we don't really get that kind of personal experience with our customers. And this is a great way for us to reach out to them and stay connected to them and get their feedback and thoughts as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we are leveraging on technology, on the fact that they're able to to comb through the posts and the stories, and as well as the materials that you have put up, like any 24/7, without having to be at somewhere to share ideas with them. But of course, we were talking about it just now that if there's an opportunity to meet up face to face with you and your partner, that would be absolutely brilliant as well. But now that we have got this situation of whereby we're supposed to stay like further away, and even if we meet, then we can wear a mask, then probably Instagram and the show that for example the chat that we're having now, I think that can do for during this period of
exactly time. I mean, this period has really thrown us all a curveball, right? As a young business owner, with a still a relatively new brand, I think we're fortunate that we started the online route way before this situation.
Definitely.
I think it's really served us well. And I'm of course sad about pop-ups being cancelled and not being able to meet people in person anymore. I mean, at least for this period of time. But at the same time, I think that we were in good state going into this situation, and we're very fortunate. And actually, because we felt so blessed, being in the position that we were still able to continue our business and online operations and still being able to fulfill and deliver. We actually held a giveaway for nurses and healthcare workers working at the front lines.
That's great.
We gave away like a whole bunch of pillowcases just to help them, sleep better. I mean, there's not much that we can do for them.
Believe in. There's
not much that we can do for them, and I'm sure there's so many of them that are tired. But it was just something that we wanted to do to give back to the community.
Jen, I really, and I seriously mean it. I really buy into your conviction of that starts all the way from the name, even the selection of the name to to be able to sleep.
That took us the longest time.
Yeah, but once you once you decide on it, you'll be thinking that is the one, and
why didn't I think of that in the first place instead 100%. Of running through like 100 names and
something more gimmicky than others.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're able to pass a set of this sheet to nurses, to people, and then you will sleep well, with the sheet that I'm holding on in my hands. I think this is really powerful. Thank you again for all the work you and your partner and your team that you have very much put into this. That's made this happen. I think this is really wonderful.
Thank you. I mean, one of the things we wanted to do was also like kind of try to inspire other businesses more businesses to actually give back to society during this period as well, and to kind of build on the unity and strength of the country together. I mean, because everyone's going through such a tough time.
Yeah.
There are so many other great businesses out there who are doing their part as well, giving back to society.
One of the main reason for us to start out with ARKHILITE C is so that we're able to discover. We call it like slow people, but what actually that meant is something that's of course very much deeper. Is that we take time to really understand certain things, so that you either perfect your craft if you are talking to conversing with artists and sculptors and ceramicists and so on, but for many other friends that we have and business owners that we have and brand owners that we have spoken to really take the time to see what is it that in the market that can be done better, So I think really so I'm really glad that SOJAO came along, evolved, and it's not easy, but still it's something that is worth waiting for you and for the rest of us as well.
Honestly, it's not easy to be a slow brand in this fast-paced world. I mean,
but that will be something that is interesting, because that will make that will make us different. Not to be different for the sake of being different, but the fact that because you take time and therefore you will discover more that is underneath. If not, then it'll be swimming. If not, it'll be swimming with the masses. Then we'll be back to something that is more superficial, that's been there all along. Doesn't really create much value and much impact to make an improvement.
Yeah, exactly what you said. I mean, it's not that being a fast-paced brand is necessarily bad or you're selling out or anything. Kudos to them for being able to go fast, but we have to work on our based on our own resources at our own time. There's no point trying to compare to like other brands and other businesses that have a much bigger budget and much more resources behind them. I think what this situation has reminded us of is basically that you have to run your own path. You have to walk or run your own path. You can't compare yourself to other people. This situation has afforded us time to slow down, and I think it's given a lot of time as well for self-reflection and learning.
Thank you, Jen. Before we end our chat today, which I will hate to but what is it that we can look out for from you? Is there you have recently launched a new line, but what's next in line?
Definitely we're just looking to expand our range of colors and sizes. When we first started out, we were only doing single, super single, queen, king. Right now we have up to 8 sizes for bedding, all the way until California king. We have cord-fitted sheets. We have introduced towels.
You've exported as well.
We have we're still if we export to people who are overseas, of course, staying overseas. But at the same time, like we've expanded to like organic cotton towels, bath towels, face towels. We're expanding into loungewear as well. It's something that we find we need ourselves. We need this in our lives at this point. I think for our business, it has always started out as we need it and we can't find it.
That's right.
So
this is one of the biggest impetus. Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Where can we find you, Jen? You and your partner. You're on Instagram. You're on.
We're on Instagram. That's Facebook. Right. At SOJAO Shop. We're also on Facebook. You can always shop online at sojao.shop. it's free delivery in Singapore, and one of the things that we're super proud of as well. You can try our sheets or just a pillowcase. We sell them all separately as well, so really convenient for you, for anyone who are looking to mix and match.
That's great. That's great.
And really only get what they need, you know, because sometimes sets sell things that they don't need, like bolster cases. You don't really have a bolster case. All those are actually add-ons for us.
Yeah, that's great.
Actually curated according to your own bedroom needs.
And now that perhaps like visiting your studio could be more of a challenge, like
yes,
like
definitely,
as compared to pre-COVID. But at the same time, it doesn't stop anyone from say if you really want to test out, you know, buy a smaller piece, like what you said, a towel or a pair of towels, and then you'll be able to know what the material is, and then of course then you can really like imagine it.
We also give out complimentary swatches during this time. So if you wanted to know how the color actually looks like, we send out complimentary swatches.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
You can have a look at it and see whether it matches your bedroom walls or anything. You know, we in a sense we always try to promote sustainability. So don't get what you don't need. You know, you can always try something small first. If you like it, you can go for the bigger bundle.
I like your philosophy and the way that you guys execute it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem at all. Folks, so I'll see you next week. This is a really beautiful chat with Jen, and I hope you folks, if you really are into wanting to be part of a community that make a difference. Not so much. I mean, if you're thinking really about making a difference, that's one thing to to head to. But at the same time, to be slightly more explorative, and then to be able to want to like try out different materials, and then to see how that can actually benefit. You receive a particular set, and then you are assured that your night's rest will be different from the previous nights. I think that's a really powerful thing to look forward to. Thank you again, Jen.